What if the next global crisis has already begun, quietly, but dangerously? Two powerful nations, Iran and United States, are once again at the center of rising global tension. But this isn't just another political disagreement. This is a high-stakes standoff involving military power, economic pressure, and strategic control over one of the most important regions in the world. In 2026, the situation has reached a level where even a small mistake could trigger a much larger conflict. So what exactly is happening? Why are tensions rising now? And most importantly, how close are we to war? Let's break it all down. What if the next global crisis has already begun, quietly, but dangerously? Two powerful nations, Iran and United States, are once again at the center of rising global tension. But this isn't just another political disagreement. This is a high-stakes standoff involving military power, economic pressure, and strategic control over one of the most important regions in the world. In 2026, the situation has reached a level where even a small mistake could trigger a much larger conflict. So what exactly is happening? Why are tensions rising now? And most importantly, how close are we to war? Let's break it all down. To understand today's crisis, we need to look at the history. The relationship between Iran and the United States has been tense for decades. It all changed dramatically after the 1979 Iranian Revolution, when Iran shifted from being a U.S. ally to one of its strongest critics. Since then, both countries have been on opposite sides of political and military issues in the Middle East. There have been sanctions, proxy conflicts, cyber operations, and constant mistrust. Over the years, tensions have risen and fallen, but they never truly disappeared. And now, in 2026, those tensions are rising again, faster than before. One of the biggest reasons for concern right now is the growing military presence in the region. The United States has deployed naval forces near Iran, particularly around the strategically critical Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway connects the Persian Gulf to the open ocean and is one of the busiest oil routes in the world. For the U.S., maintaining control and ensuring freedom of navigation is a top priority. For Iran, the presence of foreign military forces so close to its borders is seen as a direct threat. Recently, tensions escalated further when U.S. forces seized an Iranian-linked vessel. Iran strongly condemned this action, calling it illegal and provocative. In response, Iranian officials warned that any continued aggression would not go unanswered. This has created a dangerous situation. Both sides are armed, alert, and operating in very close proximity. And history has shown that in such situations, even a small misunderstanding can escalate quickly. To truly understand why this conflict matters, we need to focus on one key location, the Strait of Hormuz. This isn't just any waterway. It is one of the most important choke points in the global economy. A significant portion of the world's oil supply passes through this narrow passage every single day. Countries across Asia, Europe, and beyond depend on it for energy. Now imagine what happens when this route is threatened. Even the possibility of disruption can cause oil prices to spike. Markets react instantly. Governments become concerned. And that's exactly what's happening right now. With rising tensions between Iran and the United States, there are growing fears that the Strait of Hormuz could become a conflict zone. Iran has, in the past, hinted that it could restrict access if pushed too far. The United States, on the other hand, has made it clear that it will not allow any disruption to global trade routes. This creates a direct clash of interests and puts the entire world on edge. But this conflict isn't only being fought with ships and military power. There is also an economic battle taking place. The United States has long used sanctions as a tool to pressure Iran. These sanctions target Iran's economy, especially its oil exports, banking system, and international trade. The goal is to limit Iran's resources and force it to change its policies. For Iran, these sanctions have had a significant impact. Inflation, currency instability, and economic challenges have affected everyday life. However, instead of backing down, Iran has often responded by strengthening its regional alliances and finding alternative ways to survive economically. This ongoing economic pressure has only deepened the divide between the two nations. And in many ways, it has made the situation even more complicated. Despite all the tension, diplomacy has not completely disappeared. There are still efforts being made to bring both sides to the negotiating table. However, these efforts are fragile and uncertain. Trust between Iran and the United States is extremely low. Both sides have different expectations and demands. The United States is pushing for strict conditions, including limitations on Iran's nuclear and military activities. Iran, on the other hand, is demanding relief from sanctions and recognition of its sovereignty. There have been discussions about possible talks, even involving neutral countries acting as mediators. But here's the problem. Every new incident, every military move, every political statement makes diplomacy harder. It's like trying to build a bridge while the ground beneath it keeps shaking. Now we come to the most serious question. Are Iran and the United States heading toward war? Right now, there is no official declaration of war. But the risk is very real. Both sides have issued strong warnings. The United States has indicated that it is ready to respond if its interests are threatened. Iran has made it clear that it will retaliate if attacked or provoked. Military analysts believe that while neither side may want a full-scale war, the current situation increases the risk of accidental conflict. A single miscalculation, a misunderstanding at sea, or an unexpected incident. Any of these could trigger a chain reaction. And once that happens, it may be very difficult to control. This conflict is not happening in isolation. The entire world is watching closely. Major global powers are carefully monitoring the situation. Some are calling for calm and de-escalation. Others are preparing for possible consequences. Countries like Pakistan have shown interest in playing a mediating role, trying to reduce tensions and encourage dialogue. Meanwhile, global markets are already reacting. Oil prices have shown signs of increase. Investors are becoming cautious. Because everyone understands one thing. If this conflict escalates, the impact will not be limited to one region. It will affect economies, security, and stability across the globe. So what does the future look like? There are two possible paths ahead. The first is diplomacy, where both sides step back, reduce tensions, and find a way to negotiate. The second is escalation, where pressure continues to build, leading to a larger conflict. At this moment, the situation is balanced between these two outcomes. The next few weeks and months will be critical. Decisions made during this time could shape the future of the region, and possibly the world. The rising tension between Iran and the United States is more than just a political issue. It is a complex mix of history, strategy, power, and global impact. While both sides continue to avoid full-scale war, the situation remains highly unstable. The world is watching, waiting, and hoping that diplomacy will win over conflict. Because in today's interconnected world, a crisis in one region can quickly become a crisis for everyone. If you found this deep analysis helpful, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Stay informed, because understanding global events has never been more important.